So what we wanted to do is 5 minutes, share with you some things you've heard about during the meeting about our strategy going forward, etc. But just to get the leadership team to share what they are most passionate about, for the next year plus. And after that, we're going to invite the entire ICHOM team up on stage, so we can say thank you to all of you for coming, and so on. But let's start with, we have a clicker somewhere, right? Oh, there it is. You can be the boss. You're the boss of the clicker. So you can click that one through. But one of the things, the points we made as we opened, Martin and I, was that we are moving ICHOM from the first decade of laying the foundation, creating standard sets, starting communication, convening you to meet and learn from each other, to the next decade of impact. We want to make sure that our standard sets are used and that the use leads to change. And you will see several ways in which that will happen. And I think both Neo and Greg will talk about that. I also mentioned that we're changing our logo to symbolize this new decade that we're moving to. And Ben will share with you a few images on what that looks like. It's not quite completed yet, but almost. And then finally, we're going to disclose to you where we meet next time, when we will come even more to celebrate and share and learn from each other. But if we click to the next, I think we have, I don't know whose slide is next, but I think that's Neo, right?
Okay, are you going next, Ali?
Mine seems to have disappeared, but I'll
go
next very briefly. So in my role at ICHOM, which is more of an internal operational role, if you like, it's been brilliant to listen to so many of the sessions, and from my point of view mainly because it's been so reassuring that so much of what we're talking about internally and planning for the next few months and years very much aligns with everything that's been discussed. And earlier this year, over the summer, we went through an extremely valuable strategic review, and we've landed in a really good place, I think. And what's also happened is it's given us great clarity, and I think all of us are much clearer now on our strategic positioning moving forward. And don't get me wrong, we have a lot to do, and as you've seen, we're a very small team, but what we've got is focus, and Neo, Greg and Ben will go into a little bit more about what that focus actually means practically speaking. But from my point of view, I think one thing that's become even more evident, if you like, is that we need to be more systematic in our approach, not only to our existing relationships with stakeholders, but the new ones. And there's definitely areas that we very much know that we need to explore more, whether that's patient advocacy groups, whether that's foundations, policymakers, but finding the best way that we can actually engage with those partners, or whether it's funding partners that support, the next decade of ICHOM.
Thank you, Ali. So the meeting began yesterday with Martin and Stefan reflecting on how over the last 10 years, ICHOM has spent the 10 years building a foundation. And I think I have to say that the number of people at this conference, the level and caliber of discussions, as well as the passion and the energy that's come through this experience of the conference, is true testament to how the foundation is more solid than ever, in my view. And I'm looking forward over the next 10 years. We have developed, it's thrilling to see that we've developed 44 sets to date and still counting. So we have developed sets that cover a variety of clinical areas, including cardiovascular diseases, oncology, mental health, and others. And all told, the number of conditions that are covered by these sets account for over 57% of global burden of disease. So we are at 44, but still counting. And I'm happy to say also that by the end of this year, we'll have an epilepsy set. Next year, we already have a wonderful. And next year, we already have a running list of sets that we hope to develop, including HIV, obesity, myeloma, and trauma. So really thrilled that we'll continue to develop the sets. We'll do so in a way that's the next generation, if we will, updated, more readily implementable, and also applicable and easier to use for patients with multiple morbidities, for example. In addition to developing the sets, we're really looking forward over the next 10 years to drive implementation and use in an impactful way of the sets globally. And one of the ways that we'll be doing that is through learning collaboratives, which Greg will tell us more about.
Sure. Thanks, Naya. So ostensibly, with our now newly formed tight ecosystem of partners, we will be developing or delivering on our new learning collaborative turnkey solution, which is basically a technology acceleration solution to really enable the time to value to actually get insights from data. So, you know, no matter what the collaborative set of objectives, be it policy, be it understanding med tech, device efficacy, clinical pathway, outcomes, patient experience, setting our measures within this tight ecosystem and enabling federated learning such that the data from any of the partners never have to leave the firewalls of the individual contributors, which is massive, getting over the hump of any data use agreements, and then putting on top really bright and sharp data science-driven analytics really enables us to achieve our ICHOM mission, but also really to achieve what we're really trying to do in terms of value-based healthcare, get to understanding, use data to really drive real-world evidence and improve patient condition.
Thanks, Greg. And I guess just to draw things to a close, I just wanted to reiterate that, as Stefan and Martin said yesterday, the first decade of ICHOM has been about developing these sets. As we look to our second decade, it's about how to accelerate the implementation of those. It's what Nao's mentioned, it's what lots of us have been mentioning. One of the ways that we do that is through accreditation. We launched our accreditation offering earlier this year. That will be developing and advancing as we go into next year. There's a great example here in the room. Many of you will have spoken to the guys at GluCare. They're our first accredited organization. And that's another one of the ways that we want to help organizations and the broader world of stakeholders to actually understand what it is that ICHOM does and how they can get involved in advancing value-based care. Eagle-eyed people among you will see that our logo has indeed changed, as Stefan mentioned. So if we go to the next slide, thanks. Yeah. We felt that as we approach our second decade, the time was now to look at how we come across. And so as we go into the new year, you're going to start to see a different look and feel to ICHOM. I'm very grateful. A lot of things I'm doing now are thanking people, thanking the partners that we work with. I'm very grateful to an organization called Elmwood, a branding agency based down in New York, who's helped us out on this. And really what we're trying to do with our new look and feel is to, I guess, slightly broaden our appeal to the wider healthcare world, including to patient groups. We've added some warmth, and you're going to see some different colors coming along. We've updated our logo, and you'll have seen the certification logo on there as well. Thanks. And yeah, so this is a bit of a sneak preview of some of the colors. I think you're going to see a really interesting look and feel to ICHOM as we look ahead, and if you want to know more about this, I'll be ever so happy to tell you. And in a yay. I was going to say, in a second, you're going to see the first iteration of our new branding, and here it is now. So, yeah. I hope you like the look of it, but I hope you really are excited about the fact that in a little over a year's time, we hope to be together again in Barcelona. Even today, I've had 3 different suggestions of where we go next with the ICHOM conference. We've had an organization in Bangkok who really want us to go over there, a guy in Colombia who wants us to do a Latin American conference, another one in Cape Town. We'd love to go all over. But this time next year it will be Barcelona, and we're really, really excited by that. And may I also please take this opportunity, if that's okay, to ask you in a day or so's time, you're going to get an email from us which contains a post-event survey questionnaire. It would mean so much to us if you could fill that out. we're all here talking about data and proms collection. Can you do the proms collection thing for us? That would really, really help us. Thank you. And just as I close, I'm actually going to stand up now because otherwise I'm going to feel awkward. I wanted to give a special thanks to, well, the whole ICHOM team have been amazing, but I just wanted to give a special round of applause to our conference team. Anna Clements, please come up on stage. Anya Timoshenko, give them a round of applause. Erin Monson, Erin, come up. Erin Monson, and Sarah Gray. Where's Sarah? Sarah?
Up front. Anna.
Come along through, guys. Come along. Well done.
These 4 individuals have done miracles. They haven't slept very much at all for a long time. And in addition, Anna got food poisoning 2 days before the conference, not knowing she was allergic to lobsters. So you can imagine how much stress she's been under. So thank you so much, all 4. But we have a whole team of ICHOM colleagues who have been all part of helping with the conference as well. So I'd like all of you to come up on stage. And Suzanne, please join us as well.
Yes, I know.
Still going?
So, from all of us, thank you so much for having come to the meeting. Thank you so much for the energy and the drive. Just the morning when Martin and I stood up, it was amazing to see the group. There was palpable energy in the room, and it's been the same throughout. So thank you for not only bringing your bodies here, but your passion and engagement. And we hope to see you and your friends at our next meeting a year from now. So safe travels, and please join us soon again.